number 4 finals, where Sbcc taking on Starhawks in this big stage, the tournament that had 7 teams participated in the same pool, where Sbcc topped the table, 6 matches, 5 victories and 1 losing game. Direct finalists and Starhawks competed with Kings 11 Avadi to reach out to the finals, as these teams are fighting off each other in this big stage of Scarlet season number 4. Will be an interesting battle to watch so far with the way how these two teams had the journey so far in this tournament. We'll speak a lot about that, but before that we have to start things off with the national anthem, as both the sides were getting ready for the national anthem. Directing you to the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तब जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
என்ன டோர்னமெண்ட் பண்றீங்களா? As you can see, Starhawks with the bat. Been a regular sign for SBCC. Throughout the tournament, they have bowled first, and that is getting carried on in this final too. Every single time they won the toss, they have decided to bowl first. Among which only one game which went on to be a losing game, including the league game that they faced against Starhawks, went on to be a game where they have chased down a target and won it eventually. 168 the target posted by Starhawks in that game. Will be crucial game to watch out for with the way how they are going to tackle this on. A go-to option for SBCC, bowling first and winning the game, being the table topper. But whereas for Starhawks, it's been a mix of both. They've never been known for doing same thing throughout the tournament. They batted first a couple of times, they batted second a couple of times. It's been a mix-up of both. That's what the huge difference that's been brought in here. Especially with the way how Diwakar batted throughout the tournament. 223 runs with the bat, averaging 55.75 with a strike rate of 130 odd. And along with Rohit, Giri and Sachin Yatendra were the top run getters for them. So they'll surely be expected to perform on this big stage, especially Diwakar, Rohit and Giri, as they have did it so far in this tournament, that they'll be expected to perform. Even with the rest of the batters, with the kind of practice of depending on these batters through most of the game, and as usual, Sachin Yatendra with Giri. Giri will be expected to perform as of what he did in the eliminator game against Kings 11 Avadi, who are also supposed to be the finalists, been eliminated by Starhawks to reach up to this mark. Been a mix of good performance, especially with the way Diwakar at number 4, Rohit at number 5. Been a properly blended middle order along the support of Giri at the top. Good performances throughout the tournament, especially with the way how they batted in the league match against Striking 11s, where they managed to post 179 with Diwakar top scoring and Rohit top scoring. Every time Diwakar, Giri and Rohit did well, the entire team did well. It's also up to the responsibility of Hari Venkatram and Sachin Yatendra. Everything is set. A spinner with the ball, starting things off for the spinner, SBCC. Starting with good approach here, Vikram. But apart from Vikram, there are a few good bowlers to watch out for. Manjunath, 9 wickets for him in this tournament. Harish, 8 wickets. Sandeep, 7 wickets. And Sonu, 5 wickets. They've done exceptional performance throughout the tournament. That pick of gap and placement looks out to be perfect. First boundary of the morning and opens the account here for Starhawks, Sachin Yatendra. A flat delivery bowled outside the off stump as he took it under control into the back foot. This was that shot. Look at that. Excellent use of footwork. Played it as late as possible. And this is a different track comparing to the one at the left you're watching on screen. The one at the left had a bit of extra clays which lets the ball to skid on. Won't be having much of bounce over there. But this one looks out to be fresh and genuine bounce with the ball, where the batters could expect the proper bounce. They could judge the bounce and go for any shots they wanted to play. That doesn't mean it's a completely batting track, yet there is something for the batters to achieve and something for the spinners to pick. That we've seen plenty of times in white jersey. Mix of both. The good performers from all the aspects of the game will achieve something. Quite good under control with the way how they're containing things over there. Straight away moving out the game with an attacking intent. Long on in position, deep mid wicket in position, which shows the kind of clarity you're having. Typical power play spin bowling with short third man, backward point, cover point, keeping all these fielders in position. They'll try to bowl it way outside the off stump. It's not much challenging for the batters to play it at the long on or deep mid wicket, and that's one of those reasons why they have field placements in these regions. So this is a two-way attack. In offside there is an entire protection within the 30th circle, and on the onside you'll be having deep fielders. Psychological impact, that's high in the air and goes for boundary. Placement looks out to be perfect. One more to complete this over, and this time a fuller length bowled outside the off stump. That's taken for granted. We are speaking a lot about long on, but this man took it over control to the long off. Just take back a look at that beautiful shot selection with the way how he bent his knees, aligning through the covers. 8 for no loss. In fact, we gotta wait for the result. That's a maximum. 10 for no loss, Starhawks. And there is a reason behind Sbcc choosing to bowl first in this tournament. One being their strength. They'll be good at chasing. If there is a target in front, few batters will do it well. That's the kind of mindset Sbcc is having. The other thing is most important. The tournament statistics itself is saying it. Out of 22 matches, 12 matches being won by teams batting second, which is almost 55 to 60% of the matches being won by teams batting second. And the highest total of this tournament came while batting second, chasing down a target of 199. Harish with the ball. So these were one of those reasons that Scarlet season number 4 had huge impact for the teams bowling first. Keeping that in mind, Sbcc have continuously bowled first. Eight wickets for Harish so far in 4 innings, averaging 11.5, which is very much important for them at this point of time. And this is a pretty decent T20 tournament where quality teams facing off each other. We didn't see much of low totals, we didn't see much of high totals. The 200s have also crossed very rarely in this tournament, and low target defense have also been a rare sight to watch out for. Swings and couldn't get much control over there. Giri is taking his own time in the middle, whereas Sachin Yatendra have started taking control right from the first over, as he would like to have some words to with the batter. That's pretty much important. That's something called as partnership. There are 11 cricketers on the field to challenge you. One with the ball, one with the glove. The rest of the 9 will be with the verbal impacts on the game. They'll speak something to break your confidence. There have been cheers for the bowlers, there have been encouragements and claps that will push you under pressure. All you have is that one partner to discuss, to gain clarity on what needs to be done. A simple glide over there, good stop from the fielder. Will be just a single, saving a couple of runs for his side. So what happens is sometimes if you face a couple of dot balls, with that one Giri gets off the mark anyway, it will add a lot of pressure to batters, and then what happens, the batters will try to take some emotional decision. I'm not getting runs, I'm going to go for big shots. And that's when the role of a non-striker comes to play. They have to boost their confidence despite of these 11 cricketers breaking it out on the field. And that's why cricket have always been a psychological game. There have been a lot of mind games being put onto it. You can't just beat the batter in a good rhythm. You have to break his rhythm, get himself out of his comfort zone, then you could pick his wicket out. Oh, these were easy pickings. A simplistic stroke making that gets a couple of runs for them. That's a boundary from Sachin Yatendra. Third one for him in this game. And all these boundaries came outside the off stump. One through the point direction, this one through the covers. The 6 he hit was between long off and covers. As it is also pretty much important at this point of time. Sachin Yatendra. The most crucial thing is he's also easing out pressure from Giri so that Giri could spend some time on the crease, play long innings. The role of Sachin would be more impactful in the power play. Another one through the gaps, pierces between the cover point and covers fielder as it eventually goes for boundary. This time it's been a good length bowled outside the off stump from Harish. as Sachin Nitendra took some extra feet to move forward to open the base of the bat. Beautiful stroke making. That's 9 runs coming off the last 3 balls of the over. 19 for no loss Starhawks. Continues out to bowl Vikram as it's meeting onto the pads. This lets Giri to find answers on his purpose to this game, especially in the power play. Sachin is in good touch, and giving it back to Sachin is a great advantage for them. There are few good batters waiting in the dugout to perform, with the likes of Rohit, who will be coming at number 4 or number 5 to take things under control. Seems like it is no run, as the umpire signals it as dead. Divakar is the go-to batter for them. For the strike rate of 130, he is the one who changes the context of the game. On the other hand, Sachin Nitendra with a strike rate of 146 slices it behind, but no chance of that going for boundary, as this is turning out to be a lot more pressure. Couple of dot balls to begin things off. But again, speaking about the purpose of a batter, that you can't plan outside the crease. Once you come in, catches the call as that pierces between the fielders. Lucky run this time, the same ball, but this time taken in good control. Bowled a flat one outside the off stump, as Giri took the risk of throwing his bat to it into the back foot. There are two fielders converged together, but somehow it managed to pierce between them. Lucky one for Giri. I think he should give it back to Sachin Nitendra. As long as Sachin Nitendra scores runs on the board, the power play will be quite good under control. With one to complete this over, that's 23 for no loss, turning out to be a decent over. This is how it happened in the previous over too. 3 dot balls and 9 of the next 3. Swing and a miss. 4 to end the over, that's 23 for no loss. Harish with the ball. Tossed up delivery, that's pretty much enough for the batter to find the gaps, but this time there is a sweeper cover in position. Starting things off with the dot ball, but as long as this man stays in the crease, the way how he plays it on the offside, good placement this is. Having a sweeper cover, he's opening the pace of the bat really well, Sachin Nitendra. When you look at his back lift itself, you could clearly see the batting grip itself is slight a bit opening. The bat pace is watching the slip fielder. That lets him to open and close his bat pace. Excellent batting stance. Again, speaking about that, there have been many batters used to take that kind of back lifts, where the back lift will be facing slip fielder or the third man. That lets the batters to play on the offside as well as onside. Look at that, relaxed batting stance. That's high in the air, catches the call. but that eventually manages to go for boundary. One more through the covers. This time it's been a good length delivery. No mistakes from Harish, but this man taken it with good control. That's a beautiful footwork initially that ensures him to reach the length of the ball. Look at that. And eventually not a good shot, but a better timing and better placement where no fielder standing. Gets the boundary for Sachin Nitendra. 22 of 11 with a strike rate of 200. And speaking about this backlift, sometimes the batters plan to play it on the offside, taking the backlift facing wicketkeeper. That doesn't let you to go onto the onside. There have been LBW threats too. With this stance, he can play 360 degree. Oh, lucky one. That's a dropped opportunity. This time bowled onto the pads. Had a bit of bat, but unfortunately the wicketkeeper couldn't carry that for a dismissal. Here you could see the clear picture. Look at that. The deviation was clearly visible. And we heard the sound too. Everyone knows it's a dropped opportunity. Change of pace from Harish, trying to bowl onto the stump line delivery. A different stories altogether, where Giri is still struggling to find rhythm. Even without one boundary, there have been a bit of luck for him. Wasn't much better go-to shot on his style. The freshness on the condition offers something for the bowlers to challenge the batters. This time through the covers, better stroke making as it goes for boundary. A fuller length offer to score the boundary. That's a gifted length from Harish, and taken it for granted. Giri, 9 runs coming off the over, 32 for no loss. This was that shot. Anybody will attack this delivery, as this is fuller length. You only have one option, that you have to attack it. 32 for no loss. Sonu, the new bowler, after completing the 4 overs with 2 conventional bowling approach. Will be interesting to watch out for 3 matches, 5 wickets, averaging 5.8. That's the secret threat from Sonu. As this is turning out to be one more fuller length. Every time when the bowlers bowl fuller length, the balls got punished, as that brings strike back to Giri. But the wicket-taking ability of Sonu seems to be impressive. 5 wickets in 3 matches with an average of 5.8. Seems like he's having a wonderful striking rate. Seems to be quite good under control. The weather is a bit convincing, not much hot and humid comparing to the typical Chennai weather in May. Checking the fields in position, no signs of sweeper cover in place, as they're having a third man and long off for Sonu. This gives the clear clarity that he'll be bowling way outside the off stump, more of fuller length and good length. Oh, cuts it away. Beautiful shot, which eventually gets a single, couple of runs on the board. But a beautiful shot that is, letting the ball to come and places it as late as possible. Look at that. This brings a bit of satisfaction too. Beautiful. Continues up to bowl Sonu, changing the lengths appropriately. One with a fuller length, one with a short ball. Pushing the batters into front foot and back foot. That lets the batters to get convinced. Another wonderful delivery that pushes Sachin Yatendra under pressure, as he is not happy that he couldn't be able to slice the ball to the point direction. That's his strength, I think. Whatever the length the bowler bowls, he could be able to manage to play it through the point direction. Either it may be onto the front foot, onto the back foot, without any foot movement, for something that's tricky. This may seems to be a trap too, as the head position of Sachin Yatendra naturally falling onto the offside. We appreciated a lot about his backlift. We appreciated a lot about his batting stance. That lets him to score more runs on the offside. That lets him to score well at the point direction by opening the pace of the bat. But the biggest drawback on that stance is his head naturally falling on the offside. His expectations premeditatedly having on the offside strokes. We'll speak a lot about when he comes back to strike again. High in the air, another beautiful shot from Giri. This one, it's a spectacular one, as it's not going for boundary. Good save from the fielder. Will be a couple of runs on the board to complete this over. That's 5 runs coming off that over, 37 for no loss. In fact, single came off that over, last ball, 36 for no loss. Sandeep with the ball to complete the power play. 5 innings, 7 wickets. As we've seen, many of medium pacers and spinners coming on to play. Flighted delivery, bit of risky stroke making from Giri as he straight away tried to take on the spinner. Sehwag's style of batting. That's what Sehwag used to do. After the completion of fast bowlers, the first ball of a spinner, he'll try to step out and go for big shot. A warm welcome to spinners. But this is not an easy track to take on against the spinners, especially if it is slow and flighted well. Turns out to be quite good from Sandeep, bowling at the right regions. Wicketkeeper standing closer to the stumps, long on and deep mid-wicket in position. Attacking fields it on the offside, defensive fields it on the onside. Quick running between the wickets. Not much impactful over there. As they're getting back for the second run, these were unwanted efforts over there. Right from the throw to the carry they did, that offered extra run for them as Giri gone back to strike. Again, speaking about the intent of facing spinners, the easy approach against spinners, treating spinners as slow bowlers. There used to be some batters with the kind of confidence on attacking spinners, especially in India. Big shot. This is one among them. As it got its distance, goes for the maximum. This was the length he was looking for a very long time. This time, Sandeep bowled a bit of fuller length delivery. The intent was to flight it away, and that got extra flighted, travelled extra distance, and that's more than enough for Giri to go for the maximum. I love the shot selection. He didn't try to go over the long on, playing it to the turn of the ball. Gliding it over there, couldn't get much control. This is much better length. If he continues out to bowl the same length, there have been more possibilities of them picking up the wickets today. I mean, in this over. Another Yorker length straight away. There is a long off in position. Single to end the over. 9 runs coming off the over. That's the power play gets completed. 45 for no loss with those 4 bowlers bowling. Sonu was the only pick of the bowler with an economy of 4.00. 45 for no loss. Starts off with a dot ball. Vikram continues off to bowl his third over, trying to contain things under control with an economy of 7.00. But none of their bowlers got wickets today. That's the biggest challenge. When you look at the performance of Sbcc, picked up 10 wickets most of the times as they bowled every time, and sometimes they picked up 8 wickets and 9 wickets, but never gone less than 8 wickets in an innings. So their bowlers are known for picking up wickets in this tournament, as it's turning out to be a little bit of pressure for them in today's battle. Though the power play got over, most of the fielders are standing inside the 30-yard circle. Short third man, backward point, covers, extra covers, mid wicket and fine leg inside the circle, and that lets them to pick the gap as the fielders chasing down the ball. 2 is the call from the batter, and they are running back for the second run. Didn't see much of strikes given to Sachin Yatendra, who was in good touch in the first couple of overs, and then the innings was taken care by Giri. Surprising to see such a kind of field positioning. A minimum of 4 fielders should be placed inside the 30-yard circle. As here we could see 7 fielders inside the 30-yard circle, only 2 standing outside the circle. Dropped opportunity. Had less reaction time, but there was a space for opportunity for Vikram. Taking back a look at that drop catch. Full and delivery, couldn't get much elevation, almost sits in his hands and then put down. A dot ball to end the over, that's 47 for no loss. This was that drop catch. He had good vision, he was watching the ball. Look at that. It's sitting on his hands and then going out. Lucky one. As Sonu continues up to bowl. 7 overs, 47 for no loss. Now that is the third man in position, long off in position. Deep fine leg, deep mid wicket. And long on. As I could clearly see 6 fielders standing outside the circle. In fact, 5 fielders. Four fielders inside the circle, rest of them standing outside the circle. Sonu back into the attack. That's high in the air and gone to the distance. Goes straight over the bowler's head. That's a maximum. Comes in style from Sachin Yatendra. We've been speaking about this, that he didn't got much strike after the first couple of overs. Now got the strike and got better timing. That hits a sweet spot of the bat. Look at the positioning. A stylish stroke making from Sachin Yatendra. Moves to the 30s and 50 up here for Starhawks. 53 for no loss. The partnership where both the batters accompanied each other. If one bowler seems to be tough for Sachin Yatendra, Giri faced off that. If Giri faces challenges, Sachin Yatendra took the responsibility. Been a good understanding in big stage like a final. That's most important. When two big players, two good partners facing off each other on a big stage is a very good sign for any team out there. As it's turning out to be good under pressure. That brings back strike to Giri. Oh, risky one. Let the ball to come and place it late. But it's not something that needs to be cut down to the point direction. It's turning out to be good under pressure. Such an excellent stroke making from Sachin Yatendra at the first ball of this over. Now, I think eventually they'll start scoring boundaries in the first ball of an over or the first 3 ball of an over. Then they could eventually make it up in the rest of the 3. Tossed up delivery, that's when flicks it away to the onside and no man standing at deep will be going for boundary. One more loose delivery from Sonu as he tried to bowl a Yorker onto the pads, but it went on to be low full toss. That's more than enough for Giri to flick it away to the deep square leg. This was that ball. Good head positioning and excellent use of wrist from Giri. And it is turning out to be expensive over. 13 runs coming off it so far. As things were quite good under control. As both the batters were marching towards good totals. This is turning out to be a positive sign for them. But I'll still say these middle overs are going to be crucial for any batting side if they play careless cricket. As overs 7 to 15, where the bowling unit will try to put maximum effort, try to use more of a spinners to pick up wickets. And this phase, the batters will also won't approach this phase as death overs as well as power play. So there won't be any attacking intent, which eventually leads up to dot ball pressure if they couldn't rotate the strike. So the batters will lose their wicket. We've seen many of a batting lineup starting well in the power play, losing its momentum in the middle overs and getting collapsed to score runs. On that note, Starhawks must be careful for the next 5 to 6 overs, which are going to be very crucial for them. Dot ball to end the over, that's 61 for no loss. Saravanan, the new bowler. Swing and a miss, couldn't get much control over there. Couldn't see impactful performance, couldn't see an over from Manjunath so far. He's the leading wicket taker for them. It's a surprising sign that they've been playing a final without Manjunath Sbcc. Saravanan being the 5th bowler of the game. They'll be shuffling up with these 5 bowlers in this innings, if probably it's not going to be Manjunath to be played in this game, as he's absent today in this 11. Will be a little drawback for Sbcc, that you could clearly see 61 for no loss the scorecard. Nobody's there to break this partnership. Even if they break the partnership, this is going to be cakewalk for the rest of the batters. As you've seen, batters like Rohit have did really well, Divakar have did really well. They're yet to come out on crease, along with Hari Venkataramani. With just a couple of deliveries to complete this over. Dot balls after dot balls. Saravanan starting things off beautifully, leading up to a bit of pressure for Giri. Just single run coming off the door. Decent over coming to an end. 9 overs completed, 62 for no loss. Swing and a miss, couldn't get much control over there. This is leading up to pressure. This is what I've been speaking about a few overs before. The middle overs will always have challenge to the batters. Somewhere the bowling unit could come back. Strong appeal. And what would be the decision given? As the on-field umpire discusses, you have almost released the ball. Man carrying should be done before the release, or before the arm coming over your head. Look at that, he's completing the release. That's what the non-striker is also appealing. But must be very careful, Giri, with his boundaries. Last over for Vikram. Speaking about the impact of middle overs, what happens is you won't be facing any challenges, but still you will be going in a great flow. One over will become a decent over, the other over will become a decent over. If you face back-to-back good overs from bowlers, eventually you will face a pressure, you'll start losing wickets, 1 becomes 2. And that's how the middle overs will start impacting the batters in terms of performance. Cuts it away, as the placement looks out to be perfect. It goes over the boundary ropes. Much needed boundary at this point of time from Sachin Nitendra. It's been a flat and quick delivery, bowled outside the off stump. Let the ball to come closer and places it as late as possible at the point direction. Beautiful stroke making. Swings and got the connection better. That's high in the air. Not sure about the distance as it finds the fielder at the long on direction. Couldn't clear the elevation over there. Giri losing his way in the middle. That's first breakthrough is here as Vikram brought in the breakthrough. The same batter whom he tried to mankit. 67 for 1 Starhawks. Venkata Prashant, the new batter, surprising position at number 3. Starting things off straight away with the dot ball, turning out to be a wonderful spell from Vikram. 1 for 21 in 3.5 overs, with this being the last ball of this over. Couldn't get much connection over that, turns out to be a wide ball. Dot ball to end the over, that's 68 for 1. Sandeep with the ball. Bowled the first over, got some break, and then coming back to bowl his second on. This is the phase where Starhawks must be very careful. Though they got a positive start, the last couple of overs have been good for SBCC, as they've been trying to come back. That's high in the air. One more opportunity. Fell short of the fielder. Unfortunate. But there have been wicket threat here. SBCC has started coming onto the game in this middle overs. And that's why middle overs are always challenging. It needs real guts and real tactics to play in the middle overs, where you shouldn't lose much of your run rate. You shouldn't lose your wickets, so that you could score more in the death overs. Now what happens is, that's high in the air. Fielder under the ball. Good try. And stops the boundary. Should be taken at this level of cricket, but anyway, that's a very good stop from him to stop that sixer. This was the shot by Sachin. For a moment we thought it's going to be a huge sixer, but beautiful try from the fielder at long on. Saved the sixer. Sweeps it away. Beautiful shot one more time. Though it's not going for boundary. This is a wonderful stroke making from Venkat Prashant. These are the shots that shows the quality of a batter. The way how he positioned himself for that shot. But again, you gathered a lot of momentum for the first 7-8 overs, and you're losing all your momentum until the 15th over. Then whatever you make it up after the last 5 overs, it's not going to be helpful. High in the air, catches the call. And this time comfortable catch taken. Sachin. One more mistimed shot as it reaches out the long off fielder. Intent was to go over the long off fielder. Didn't got much elevation. That's good length, and slower delivery from Sandeep brought him the wicket. This was that one. A slow and good length one. Not an easy one to play. Good catch taken. No mistakes done at long off. Sandeep gets his first wicket. Sachin walks back to the pavilion for 35 runs. That's 70 for 2 Starhawks. Placing it through the covers. Divakar in at number 4. Dot ball to end the over. That's 70 for 2. Mohammad, the new bowler, bringing out a lot of new bowlers at the later part of this innings. As you've seen, the man whom many of them are waiting for, Divakar, the leading run scorer for them, Starhawks. Will be pressure situation for him to take whatever that they left so far in this innings. It should be around 90 or 100 at this point of time with the kind of run rate they maintained early in the power play. But somewhere the last couple of overs went on to be pretty decent and silent. Catches the call as it beats the fielder and eventually gets onto the boundary ropes. Diwakar gets off the mark with a boundary in style. And this is what he is known for. This is what he'll be expected to do in this big stage too. 130 the strike rate, 223 runs in 7 innings. He's the overall leading run scorer of this tournament, Diwakar. Interesting thing is with the way how they are rotating their bowlers. Placement looks out to be perfect. 2 is the call from Diwakar. And that eventually becomes the 2 because of this misfield. Mohammad Yusuf continues up to bowl. Along with Mohammad Yusuf, so far 6 bowlers being used. Yusuf being the 6th bowler. Where there is 3 more overs to Saravanan, 2 more overs to Harish, Sonu and Sandeep. Vikram, the skipper of the side, who completed his quota. Dot ball to end the over. That's 77 for 2. .42 the current run rate. When you look at the way how the run rate started dipping down for the past couple of overs, the numbers are quite good until the 8th over, and then eventually the score have started going down. It was like 61 at the completion of 8th over. 17 runs in the last 4 overs. That leads up to a lot of pressure for them, which is 17 runs and 2 wickets in last 4 overs. A complete dominance of Sbcc. Kite in the middle. Starting things off with the dot ball. Couldn't get much control over that. Will be just a single. Trying to play paddle sweep. Couldn't get much control over there. These were inspiring approaches where no fielder standing at the position. You could eventually go for such shots, but not the right length to play on. He's good at playing those sweep shots. His back foot is bending down well. Oh, that's pretty close. A beautiful delivery from Sandeep. Turning out to be thrilling over, where one after the other becomes wicket opportunity. The threat is surely there. Placement looks out to be perfect as it goes over the boundary ropes. Boundary to end the over. That's a full toss delivery that's been punished off at the deep mid wicket region. 83 for 2. 13 overs completed, Starhawks. This was that boundary. Intent was to bowl in Yorker, but that's been overflighted, taken down as full toss delivery as it went between the mid wicket and deep square leg fielder. That brings back Saravanan back into the attack. 1 over, 1 runs, was not given second opportunity. Started things off really well. Catches the call. Couldn't get much control over there. Turned out to be a decent over from Saravanan, the first one. As he continues up to bowl, shuffling the bowlers really well. Sbcc holding on a certain bowlers, giving certain bowlers continuous overs. With the likes of, oh, that's bails of flying off. Venkat Prashant tried to play it late, but unfortunately it hits the off stump and the bails were flying off. Wicket number 3 is here. The middle overs are turning out to be game-changing moments for Sbcc. This one bowled on to be quicker and shorter. The shot selection was right, but not to the right line of the ball. It's been bowled on to the stump line where you can't let the ball to come closer. 84 for 3 it is as Rohit, the new batter. Two most dependable batters of the side on strike now. To turn the fortunes of their side, straight away gets off the mark. Rohit with couple of runs on the board. Still the next 2 overs are going to be crucial. Oh, these were unwanted efforts. A perfect Instagram Reels material. These clips could be used over there. That brings strike back to Divakar. Speaking about the next 2 overs, which is going to be crucial for them. If they continue to bat this fashion until the 15th over, where they could eventually take up the license to go for big shots, shifting up the gears at the regular momentum of time, there will be few good batters who will be sitting at the dugout, as this is the right time for them to build this partnership a couple of overs rather than going for big shots or to feel the pressure to play anything wrong. With 1 to complete this over, 87 for 3 it is. Swing and a miss. Dot ball to end the over. That's 87 for 3. Sonu with the ball. Strong shouts. There have been a second sound over there. As some frictions would have created that sound. Continues up to bowl Sonu. One more over for him, which they'll be preserving for the death overs. Rohit in jersey number 18. Bit of low-cup delivery. Surprising length from Sonu. We didn't saw much of these kind of bounces today, as this condition is extracting a bit of extra bounce. That led the batters to stand and deliver, but this one bowled by Sonu went on to be a low-cup delivery, where Rohit was pretty conscious to defend it away. Clean bowled as the bails were flying off. Rohit tried to play something different. The intent was to play on the onside with bottom hand domination. That's a good length delivery. In fact, fuller one outside the off stump, almost onto the line of off stump. This was that. Easy pickings for Sonu. Gets his first one as Rohit walks back to the pavilion. 87 for 4. Abhishek, the new batter, comes in at number 6 for Starhawks to accompany Divakar. Been an exceptional performance for the last 5 to 6 overs from Sbcc. 26 runs, 4 wickets the last 6 overs. That shows complete dominance from the bowling unit. Sbcc changes the context of the game. It was 0 wickets and 60 odd for no loss at some point of time, and eventually turns up to be 4 wickets with no new batters setting themselves well. Couldn't get much control over there. Single run coming off this over, turning out to be one more decent over before reaching up to the official death overs. They left with 6 batters to come out. In fact, 5 batters to come out, with 2 of them on screen. 15 overs completed, 89 for 4. Sandeep with the ball to bowl his last over. 1 for 17 it is in 3 overs. That catches the call as it landed safely in no man's area. We are entering to the official death overs. The last 5 overs in control. Last 7 overs went on to be 28 for 4. The score was 61 after first 8 overs. 61 for no loss. From there on to become 89 for 4. Complete collapse in the middle overs. Big shot as that's high in the air. Fielder under the ball but couldn't reach the landing area as it goes for boundary. Surprising. Seems to be a half intent from the fielder. Not sure whether this should be taken or not, but this should be given even much intent. Look at that. Lucky boundary here for Abhishek and positive way to start the death overs. Much closer delivery. You couldn't lose your patience. There shouldn't be any emotional approaches, as every ball doesn't deserve to be punished. The choice of shot selection must be precise. Through the covers, as this is turning out to be quite good under control. Onto the pads. Strong appeal, no signs of that being a dismissal. Though the batter is covering, this seems to be it's turning down the leg. This was that appeal. With the leg stump line, he's slightly covering the wicket, yet it's moving away. But the intent was good from Sandeep. He's invading the stumps one after the other. This is turning out to be one more in that list. 2 is the call as Divagar is running back for the second run. That's quite good, running between the wickets to end this over. That's 1 for 25 is the spell from Sandeep. 2 to end the over. 16 overs completed, as it's 97 for 4. Harish with the ball. Swing and a miss, couldn't get much control over there. Starting things off with the white ball. As these 4 overs are going to be crucial, 1 or 2 big shots might ease the pressure out. They could eventually make it more than 140. As this is turning out to be 120 to 150 even, with the way how the batting unit is going to approach this batting lineup. In the previous meeting, Starhawks have scored 167 that have been chased down by Sbcc. This is a little less comparing to that. The batting collapse in the middle overs have changed the entire context of the game. It was a very good opening combination where Giri and Sachin Yatendra batted really well. Both scored almost 30 odd together. There were expectations that this will go easier task for the rest of the batters, but the shuffle in the middle overs with the way how the bowlers were shuffled to pick up wickets changes the context of the game. As that turns out to be 100 appear for Starhawks with that single. They have reached to the 50 in the 7th over and reaching to the 100 in the 17th over. That shows the kind of difference the middle overs have impacted in this game. Clean bowled as the bails are flying off. Harish gets his first one. Intent of going for a very big shot. Abhishek misses out the length. The Yorker that straight away hits the off stump. Just taking back a look at that ball. He was preparing himself with a strong base to go for the big shot. And that's a clean Yorker on the off stump. He's not at all watching. Look at the desperation from Abhishek. That's 100 for 5 as Abhishek walks back to the pavilion. Good use of the footwork. Gauri Shankar, the new batter, comes in at number 7. Divakar wanted a strike to ensure that as a single, but Gauri Shankar denied the single. Turning out to be decent over. 3 runs coming off this Harish over. The run rate becomes 5.94, which is less than 6 runs per over. The possibilities of 120 itself is a question mark right from here if it continues on, unless Divakar plays some good shots. 2 is the call from the batter as they're trying to run back for the second run. That's quite good running between the wickets. 2 to end the over. 102 for 5. Through the covers, catches the call as it pierces between the fielders, goes for boundary. Divakar started smacking down Saravanan back into the attack. This is what required at this point of time that they've been missing for a very long time. Beautiful shot that aligns between the extra covers and long off fielder. Have to carry on the same batting display throughout the innings. There is still a possibility of 130 or more. Good one from Saravanan, and Yorker attempt that doesn't let the batter to explore a lot. That Divakar gone back to non-strikers in. Gauri Shankar back on strike. Choose the call. Satisfying with that single. Couldn't get much control over there. As things were quite good under control. Covers, backward point and short third man in position. Attempted Yorker. This is pretty much important at this point of time as Saravanan is bowling one after the other the Yorkers. Fine leg inside the circle, short third man inside the circle. Will Divakar try something cheeky? Good use of the bat. Bringing out straight bat to get the single. Satisfying with that single. That's quite surprising, which is almost 50 runs less than what they've scored in the previous league phase where they faced Sbcc. Typically a good chasing ground if the total is less than 150. But once again, this is final. Anything might happen in big stages despite of the conditions reaction. Something to fight on must be there. Hope he's okay, as both got injured in both the ends. This was exactly happened at that throw. You could clearly see hydration break in the middle. Back into the attack. Last over for Sonu, 1 for 20. The bowlers have started with a bit of shaky, and then they've managed things really well in this innings. Exceptional performance. Good throw over there. When you look at every bowler, they started decently and then they made it up really well. The way how they are completing their spell is quite impressive to watch out for. This was that approach. Wonderful Yorker. And a good stop and directed. Go running between the wickets anyway. Then you take Vikram. 22 for 1 for him. And Sonu is bowling his 3.2, 21 for 1. Another good approach. Sandeep completed his spell. 25 for 1. Saravanan 3 overs bowled. 13 for 1. It all started with a shaky approach, but overall with the way how they're finishing things is beautiful to watch out for. Change of length straight away. We've seen a couple of Yorkers being bowled by Sonu. Now straight away moving on with a bouncer, which Divakar would have never expected. Pushing them under pressure, not at all conceding single runs easily. The first 61 runs being scored in 8 overs. The next 61 runs being scored in 10.3 overs with 5 wickets. That brings up the difference in this innings. High in the air. Didn't got much of elevation and finds a fielder at long on. Sonu gets his second one with Gauri Shankar's intention to go over the long on fielder was not materialized properly. It was a slow good length delivery outside the off stump as Gauri Shankar tried to play a stylish shot over the long on, but again didn't met the ball well as that finds the fielder at long on. No mistakes done by the long on fielder. 112 for 6 it is. Last 2 balls of Sonu with Pragdish, the new batter, and at number 8. Swing and a miss with one more to complete this over. 112 for 6 it is, with just 2 runs coming off this over, turning out to be another decent over. Hope things are quite good under control. 2 for 22 Sonu with one more to complete his spell. Finds the aerial route and that has the placement too. That's a maximum to finish things off. 2 for 28 will be the end of spell for Sonu. But what matters the most is Prakadesh gets off the mark in style. That's 118 for 6 Starhawks. These were typical tail-ender stroke makings with full of bottom hand domination. Look at that shot. Got himself into position early. No man standing a deep square leg. Even if they're standing, it's not going to be stopped by them. A much needed sixer. 118 for 6. Now there are 2 bowlers out there with Harish and Saravanan both bowled 3 overs. Harish 23 for 1, whereas Saravanan 13 for 1. Both are waiting for their last opportunity. Who will be given that last over to be bowled on? It seems like Harish is with the ball. Saravanan will be left out with 3 overs 13 for 1. Surprisingly, he couldn't be able to complete his spell today. Big shot at the long off reach, and there is a fielder in position. Turns out to be just a single. Good fielding standards today from SBCC. Didn't drop much of opportunities. There have been a few in the first 6 overs, but after the first 8 overs, everything got in control. The fielding standard, the direct hits, despite of there have been few overthrows, everything was kept in control. That brings a strike back to the man himself. Pragadish, who opened his leg and scored that maximum, is on strike now. Swings and couldn't get much connection over there. 2 is the call. That won't be getting the second run. 120 is reached out there now. Now whatever they score, the run rate will be more than 6 runs per over right from here. Squeezes to the point direction. That beats the fielder. Dropped opportunity. Just a few balls before I was speaking about the fielding standard of SBCC, and straight away it turns out to be a dropped opportunity. He had a lot of time. The reaction time was too good for him to judge the ball and take the catch, but that one hand effort was not helping him out. Change of pace again. Swing and a miss. Couldn't get much control over there. I think this is the beauty of Harish, with the way how he bowled those slower deliveries to control the batters from scoring runs. That's why the skipper went on with Harish than going with Saravanan. Saravanan is also a good option. It's up to the team's prospect. Moves across. Couldn't get the connection. Swing and a miss again. Back-to-back slower deliveries from Harish. One thing is for sure, that he's trying to use the pace of the ball and play a slog sweep. He's pretty much premeditated on his stroke making. He plays the same shot. The bowler has to bowl according to it. Through the covers as the fielder chases down the ball. 2 is the call, which will eventually become the second run. Even the intention was to go for the third run. Excellent running between the wickets. That adds 3 runs for the batting unit to end the first innings. Overall 6 runs coming off the last over. That turns out to be 124 for 6 to complete the 20th over. Now the target will be 125 to win the game here for SBCC. But again, looking back with the way how they batted in this innings, again 61 for 0 at 8 overs. 124 for 6 at 20 overs. So overall it's 63 runs for 12 overs by losing 6 wickets. It was a poor performance at the lateral part of the innings from Starhawks, who lost the toss, being pushed down to bat first. Sachin, Yatendra and Giri have gave them a clinical start with 30 runs each, but unfortunately after their wicket of 67 runs, the partnership got broken. The batters have started losing their way in the middle. Venkata Prashant 7 runs, Rohit 3 runs, Abhishek 7 runs, Gauri Shankar 5 runs, lost their way. It was Divakar somehow tried to consolidate the innings for 22 runs, and Pragadish came in and scored a huge sixer at the most crucial part of the innings, made them to reach 124. Still it's 30 runs short for Starhawks, but there is something to fight on in the second innings. While looking back to SBCC, won the toss, decided to bowl first. Vikram took care of the first 10 overs. 4 overs 22 for 1, Harish 4 overs 29 for 1, Sonu 4 overs 28 for 2, Sandeep 4 overs 25 for 1. Saravanan unfortunately couldn't bowl his last over. 3 overs 13 for 1, and Mohammad Yusuf 1 over 7 for 0. Excellent bowling performance from all the bowlers. Now 125 is the target here for SBCC. Will there be anything to say for Starhawk? Let's wait and watch. As the fielders walking onto the field, Starhawks. One final fight. The beauty of these big finals is there is nothing to lose. Whatever happened in the first innings, you could make it up. We've seen teams like Punjab Kings defending 1-1-1. Then it is possible to defend 125. That's the kind of mindset that Starhawks must be having. The finals happened so far have clear-cut evidence. 2017 IPL final, where Mumbai Indians have managed to defend a target of less than 130. So it is still possible. The same middle overs where they have to focus with the ball. The intent should be not to give any singles. You can concede boundaries, but you shouldn't concede singles. You should bowl 6 balls to the same batter. Despite of him scoring runs or boundaries, that doesn't matter. It's about setting up a batter and picking up wickets in a regular interval of time. They shouldn't feel easy to score singles. Let them find aerial road. Let them go for big shots to find runs. That's the mindset should be. Whereas SBCC will be really happy with their performance with the ball. They'll try to carry on the same momentum with the bat. Known for chasing big targets, but this is a little easy for them. Still, the pressure of final will surely be there. That's why the game's heat will be playing a crucial role. Slips in position, good cheers over there. Expectations for a huge impact. Vicky J, the leading run scorer for them. Cuts it away. Couldn't beat up the fielder. Starts things off. Gauri Shankar with the ball. Must be very crucial for them to keep up with the same batters to perform. With one being Vicky J, will be surely expected to perform. Gets off the mark straight away with that single. As every ball counts, every run counts in this contest. The batter shouldn't feel easy to rotate the strike. The batter shouldn't feel easy to score boundaries. But I see that positivity around Starhawks here. The cheers, all the 11 cricketers were shouting, encouraging their bowlers, all the 10 fielders, including the wicketkeeper. The cheer is still there. They have connected together. They have good vibe all together. This will surely bring some impact to the game. Marshall Josh to face his first ball. And that's slightly moving away from the batter with slips on position. Gauri Shankar is inviting the batters to go for the cover drive. Try going for the cover drive. I'm having slips in position. That's the kind of mindset in which he is approaching this game. Venkata Prashant standing at the slips. Cheeky want to get things over there. There should be players walking onto the field. Though they are standing inside the 30th circle, walking on might help them to get closer. There will be few pick up the bowlers from Starhawks, with Adarsh being a top wicket taker. If he takes 2 wickets today, he'll be the leading wicket taker. Strong shouts, no chance of that being a dismissal, but the vibe is still there, putting the batters under pressure. It is 125, but you have to feel the hell before scoring the 125. That should be the mindset. No backing up, no back foot. nobody should start thinking of losing this game. With full of positive intent, there is still a possibility of turning this game towards Starhawks, unless or until Sbcc starts impacting in the power play with the bat. Single to end the over, that's 3 for no loss. Now Venkata with the ball. Strong shouts. The previous over we've seen the point fielder saved two boundaries, saving almost 6 runs for them, with those 2 went on to be singles. These were pretty much important in low target defense. The margin for error will be very, very low, because one boundary could ease the pressure away. So far we didn't see much of impactful performances, as the batters are struggling hard to score runs on the board, as things are turning out of the control. Swing and a miss, as the intention is to reach to the line of the ball to go over the bowler's head. Couple of dot balls in this over. Venkata trying to spice things up. They're not letting things go easily out of their hands, Starhawks. Cuts it away, as the placement looks out to be perfect, reaches out the boundary ropes. First boundary of the innings, as Vicky plays it as late as possible and places it at the backward point region. There was a wider third man standing who couldn't reach the placement. Look at that. Excellent use of hands with the way how he slices it to the point direction. Everyone knows it's going for boundary. Nobody's moving for that. 8 for no loss. That's high in the air as it goes past the mid-on fielder. Easy pickings for the batter to reach up to the boundary ropes. Vicky have started attacking in the power play and slowly started breaking the opportunities of Starhawks as the hopes were going down with these boundaries. Boundary in the previous over cut it to the point direction. Now this time at the long on over the mid-on fielder. Trying to contain things under control. Thick outside edge, couldn't get much connection over there, but still turning out to be pretty decent. With 1 or 2 boundaries coming in a regular interval of time, the fielders must be expanded with a defensive approach. But as of now slips in position, it is still an attacking intent. They're waiting for that early breakthrough. Even with a good partnership in the power play, Starhawks struggle to bat well in the middle overs. So that'll be that challenge for Sbcc too. Good thing is they're chasing a low target. The expectation will be low. That's a dropped opportunity. That is a tough one. Should be taken at this level of cricket. No margin for error when you defend 125. Intent was to cut the ball, but it almost found the fielder. No movement required for him. That's quite unfortunate. Couldn't get much control over that. These were unwanted efforts as Giri wanted it to be a stumping that added extra runs on the board. Good smart work from Marshall Josh, who initiated things moving forward. Turning out to be a dot ball. 7 runs coming off this over with 2 to end the over. Run out opportunity as it hits the stumps and fingers were going off. Disappointment. Look at their energy. Look at the celebration. He have never expected that to be a wicket. As the disappointed batter walks back to the pavilion. First breakthroughs here. Sbcc 15 for 1. Taking back to look at that dismissal. Didn't have much opportunity to go for single. It's just almost there. But he wanted that single, which eventually went on to be a run out. (15 for 1). Subbu, the new batter, comes in at number 3. Jersey number 18. Coming in at number 3 will be a different vibe altogether. Dot ball to end the over. That's 3 overs, 15 for 1, SBCC. Venkata Prashant continues to bowl. Another close running opportunity. As this misfield offers them extra runs, that goes to boundary. Lucky runs here for SBCC. Pretty unfortunate. Their fielding standard have been quite good so far, but this one turns out to be a little challenging for them. Intent was to go for the direct hit, and the point fielder couldn't back it up. Lucky runs for SBCC, lucky runs for Vicky. Now every over there is a boundary from Vicky's bat, which spices up things well. Another miscommunication. This time it's quite good running between the wickets, but this is turning out to be challenging stuff for SBCC. I'll say this as a smart approach as well. If you continue out to face a lot of dot balls, the bowler will bowl to the same batter, which will surely help Starhawks to pick up another wicket. That's what they'll expect for. With this, running between the wickets improves and the partnership gets good understanding, and most importantly, they are not letting the bowlers to set. But the only trouble here is the risk that they are taking for close singles. Strong shouts going down the leg, says the on-field umpire. Venkata Prashant is not happy with that decision. Is believing that it is plumb in front of wicket, but on-field umpire will get clear vision out of it. Taking back a look at that. Not sure on where it's exactly hitting, but the on-field umpire is pretty clear with his decision. He's pretty confident on this being a not out. That's why it's a tough job to do, being an on-field umpire. Lucky runs again as it goes behind the wicketkeeper. LBW not given and straight away going. An unwanted boundary will surely spice things up. Venkata Prashant will not be happy with these things happening, things going out of his control. SBCC are slowly pacing up this chase where they are in the driver's seat. Starhawks are fighting hard to keep them out of the syllabus. All you need is a couple of wickets falling in the power play to get some fight. Mid-off and mid-on inside the circle now for Subbu. Deep square leg in position. Wider third man in position. Misfield offers them extra runs over there. 2 to end the over. That's 26 for 1. places it into the back foot. Through the covers, couldn't get the connection that he is looking for. But good stroke making as the batters have started meeting it into the middle of the blade, which will surely take them deep into the game. I think this is more smart and sensible approach from SBCC. Despite of there is a pressure in the game, they were trying to rotate the strike in a regular interval of time. Will be given a wide ball. That's 28 for 1 with a couple of dot balls to begin things off. Gauri Shankar 1-0 wide. But their intention was pretty sure that placing most of the fielders on the offside and letting the batters to play it on the offside. Cut shots and cover drives. Oh, there wasn't a single here, which they are actually making it up. Beautiful batting display. In fact, well understanding running between the wickets between Subbu and Vicky. Spectacular view of this iconic venue. White Jersey Twin Park, full of green covered. These two beautiful wickets with different reactions, same hardness and the condition. Top quality cricketing experience from both the venues, with this one and the other one, the Twin Park, offering a lot of cricketing actions every day, every weekend, where we've seen cricketers enjoying their own brand of cricket. Swing and a miss, couldn't get much connection over there. There has to be something that needs to be kept under control. With just one to complete this over, that's 29 for 1. Good stop from the fielder. Will be saving a couple of runs for his side. Turns out to be just a single, it seems. That's 30 for 1. SBCC after 5 overs. Shankar, the new bowler, into the attack. Time for some revolution. Straight away, strong shouts. Not given out. Will the change of pace will impact something in this game? Spinners are into the game. Swing and a miss. Strong shouts, and the fingers were going up this time. As Vicky trying to play it across. Intent was to go for the slog sweep. As that's turning out to be plumb in front of wicket. Shankar came in and straight away brings up the breakthrough that they're looking for. And change of end is also working well for them. That's pure plumb in front of wicket. Overexcited shot from Vicky. That's 30 for 2 SBCC. Gautam Raj, the new batter, straight away getting off the mark with its single. This will surely slow down the pace of SBCC as they've lost the set batter. Two new batters, though Subbu have been playing for a couple of times. 7 of 7, 1 of 1. Gautam Raj can't take the license to go for big shots. This will surely stop the game or pass the pace for 2 to 3 overs. As both the batters are trying to rotate the strike, not taking any risk over that. This turns out to be the last over of power play, and that's where Vicky started playing a big shot. Straight away mid-wicket inside the circle to avoid the strike rotation. That releases one fielder at the offside. Big gap at the covers. Can they be able to score a boundary over there? Catches the call, and that's taken. Look at the celebration, look at the joy. Are we watching some dramatic T20 final? Gautam Raj walks away. This is the short length as Gautam Raj tried to pull it away. The mid-wicket fielder caught it well. In fact, the fielder was placed just before this ball. Look at that. Easy pickings. That's 32 for 3. Gautam Raj walks back to the pavilion. Swing and a miss, couldn't get much connection over there. Dot ball to end the over. That's Robin, the new batter, comes in at number 5. 32 for 3 after power play. Starhawks were 45 for no loss at the end of power play, whereas SBCC were 32 for 3, which shows a huge difference in numbers. Though Starhawks were 45 for no loss, they struggled hard in the middle overs, whereas SBCC have struggled in the power play itself. What's going to be there in the middle overs? Adarsh with the new ball. Another leg spinner. Strong shouts. Seems like it's turning down the leg. Good decision from the on-field umpire. Sometimes the shouts might distract the umpire's thinking. That's why it's a challenging task. You have to give decisions instantly, but you have to give correct decisions. Another interesting delivery. This is turning out to be good over. Adarsh is bowling slow leggies, which lets the batters to push forward. The game is changing as Starhawks is fighting really well. Two runs coming off the door. That's 34 for 3. Swing and a miss. Two wickets in his previous over. That leads a lot of way, brought in a lot of hopes for them. Despite of the rest of the power play being taken care with strike rotation. I think they should have showed some intent in the power play rather than focusing on strike rotation. Too much of respect being given to the bowlers in the power play. That leads up to 2 wickets falling down at the last over of it. I think that is turning out to be the biggest strength of Starhawks. They didn't bowl any poor deliveries, which leads up to the batters struggling hard to rotate the strike. Turning out to be hell for SBCC batters to find runs on the board. That's the kind of approach. Still the same intensity which they had in the first over. As they've been getting a couple of wickets in a regular interval of time, I believe that they could also add one more fielder in circle. Since this is post power play, there is only 4 fielders standing inside the circle, which lets the batters to strike rotate easily. That shouldn't happen. They shouldn't rotate the strike that easily. This is what I mentioned. It's becoming pretty easy for them. If you add one more fielder in that position, similarly what you had in the power play, as there is some pressure in the game, to gain momentum from that pressure, you have to place the same kind of field positioning. Approach these as a power play over. The batters won't go for big shots that early in this over, so you can always add a lot more fielders. Dot ball to end the over. That's 37 for 3. Rotates the strike to the long on. Now the slower delivery. Adarsh is playing with the patience of the batters. Come on, please go for the big shot. I'm bowling you slower deliveries. I'm bowling you closer deliveries. Which spoils the rhythm, which spoils the mindset of the batters. They'll be having different approach. We'll ease this pressure by rotating the strike. If Adarsh bowls a flight, slower delivery, sometimes the batters will be tempted to go for big shots. Very challenging to face such bowlers. Look at that. Almost invading the stumps. The wicket threat have always been there when Adarsh bowls. It's still there. They must be very careful. Big shot finally. As it finds the long on field, a beautiful catch. This is what we've been speaking about. Finally, Robin went for the big shot, which didn't got him the momentum that he is looking for. Wicket number 4 is here as Adarsh gets his first one. As this time, it's a bit of flat yet slower delivery. Robin tried to play it over the long on fielder. Good running catch from the long on fielder, and then this celebration brought in right momentum, turning out to be turning point of this innings. 39 for 4. SBCC are under pressure. As Vikram, the new batter who opened the innings with the ball, now to consolidate things with the bat in at number 6. It was not a right situation for a middle order batter to bat on. He would be thinking that we've contained the opposition for 124, so we could just watch the game happening. We might not be getting batting. That would be the thoughts of Vikram. But the situation is completely different. It's 39 for 4. Now you have to pull things off with the bat. Getting some words from Subbu, as Subbu have spent a couple of minutes here. He knows how the condition is reacting. He knows the mindset of the opposition, the kind of energy that they are bringing into the game. There shouldn't be much break now. They should start bowling again. The momentum is in their side. The rhythm is in their side. There shouldn't be much break. Continue bowling on. The wicket opportunities are there. Starhawks are making drama. There is a huge opportunity of miracles that could happen here. Starhawks were 60 for no loss. In fact, 61 for no loss at the end of 8 overs. This is a completely different batting twist. 39 for 4 from SBCC. Nobody would have expected this approach from them. Usually very good batting side while chasing low targets. Catches the call. But this time it goes for maximum. What kind of shot is this? Vikram came in. Despite of thinking of the pressure that is on the game, it just plays fearless shot. But it was a risky one. You could never see such strokes. A sixer at a sweeper cover against a spinner. Slow spinner. Playing his own brand of cricket, Vikram. That's what modern day cricketers used to do. Never thinking about the situation a lot. But this is what happens if you play fearless cricket, which turns out to be careless cricket. One more wicket to Adarsh. This time it's straight Yorker delivery onto the stumps. Didn't give much space for the batter to get the room. Clueless approach from Vikram, as he wanted to go for another big shot, opening up his front foot. Poor stroke making that is. Look at the celebration from Adarsh. Second wicket for him. That's 45 for 5. 80 more required to win the game. Continues out to bowl Shankar. Containing things under control. Turns out to be the leading wicket taker of this tournament, Adarsh. 14 wickets on his name, equaling the numbers of Sasikumar from Kings 11 Avadi. Both were at 14 wickets. If 1 wicket goes up for Adarsh, he'll be the leading wicket taker, lone leading wicket taker of this tournament. Shankar Egambaram is at number 2. As if he gets 2 wickets, he'll be the leading wicket taker. Even if he gets 1 wicket, he'll be sharing the first position. But despite of all of this, they will carry on the same momentum, try to pick up another wicket, try to get closer to the victory margin. Starhawks. Been a dramatic performance from them. The first 10 overs, right from the power play, they've dominated with pacers, then started doing it with the spinners. But it all changed once Shankar came into the game. The 6th over where he picked up 2 wickets. That turns out to be a boundary. A good stroke making at the sweeper cover where the fielder had no chance to stop that going for a boundary. Another interesting stroke making this is. Another slower delivery. Bowled slightly outside the off stump. That's pretty much enough for batters like Subbu as he opens the pace and places it as square as possible. 50 up here for SBCC with that boundary. 51 for 5. 74 more required to win the game with 5 wickets in hands and 10 more overs to be bowled. Cheeky single, and he'll be keeping the strike back for the next over. 52 for 5. Change of end here. The end that changed the context of the game completely. 4 wickets on this end. The bowlers got wickets on this end. The opposite end now we are watching the game. Got only a run out in the power play. Didn't saw bowlers picking up wicket in that end. Still, what's troubling me is that field positioning. Should have kept the long off inside the circle. It's still a pressure for the batters to go for the big shot. Should be more attacking. Strong shouts. They shouldn't keep things easy for the batters to rotate the strike. If that moves on, the batters will feel more pressure. If there is long off, eventually as the batter's mindset, I'll take a single as of now. There is a vacant space to go for single. Which is a different pressure altogether. Adarsh 2 for 11. 14 wickets so far in this tournament. Sharing with Sasikumar from Kings 11 already. 1 wicket to Adarsh would lead him to be the leading wicket taker. That's clean bowled. The moment we are speaking about it. Presenting you to the leading wicket taker of Scarlet season number 4. Adarsh gets another one. This time a poor shot selection as the batter let the ball to come in and play it at as late as possible, but that hit the stumps. 53 for 6 it is. This is what Saravanan did. Poor shot selection. Moving to the leg side and letting the ball to come closer. You can't play late hit something that's coming onto the stump line. Anyway, Sbcc are in trouble now. .53 for 6 as a new batter Balaji comes into the crease. Subbu's fighting at one end and the rest of the batters for failing to keep up the momentum high. Strong appeal as he is pretty confident that it is a wicket. Not sure whether he's asking it for caught behind or for stumping. Oh, that seems to be pretty closer. But the on-field umpire says it's not out. Maybe the benefit of the doubt goes favor to the batter. And wide signals the on-field umpire now. Would be another wicket to Adarsh if it's been a wicket delivery. Now he's the leading wicket taker for sure. Single to end the over, that's 55 for 6. In fact, 56 for 6. Squeezes through the covers. Will be just a single to the sweeper covers. Divakar, the new bowler, into the attack. Surprising to see not Shankar continuing as Divakar replaces Shankar. Clean bowled. One more onto the courts. He's looking out to be surprised. Now whatever the change they make in this game is working well for them. This was that dismissal. A quicker one from Divakar, which went on to be surprising one for Subbu, as disappointed Subbu walking back to the pavilion. Now 58 for 7. The key batter is also gone now. Been a conventional approach with full of confidence, using 2 fast bowlers for the first 5 overs and then 2 spinners for the next 6 overs. Now bringing up that 5th bowler. Shankar and Adarsh will bowl round up to him. Now the biggest question is, who will cover things up after these spells gets completed? Will be really interesting to watch out for. Which will be Gauri Shankar and Venkata Prashant along with them. Now the close peel over, the no slips in position. Harish, the new batter, came in at number 9. But every ball seems to be an wicket opportunity, which is adding up a lot more pressure to the game. Misfield, which offers to the boundary. Unexpected result at this point of time, which went for boundary. Unusual one to rotate the strike off from Harish. He would have never thought it will go for boundary. This is where it all went wrong. A little bit of extra bounce, as he never expected that to happen. Gets off the mark with that boundary, Harish. Halfway through this chase, everything is out of their control. 62 for 7, 63 more required to win. Unless or until some miracle happen in the middle, it won't support them. These were the 5 bowlers we are watching. 2 fast bowlers, Gauri Shankar and Prashant, and then 2 spinners, Adarsh and Shankar. Now the 3rd spinner have also bowled well. Now they'll try to shuffle these bowlers together, with Adarsh to bowl his last over, 3 for 14 in his 3 overs. Slicing it behind, couldn't get much connection over there. Swings. Another misfield. Bit of careless approach here from the fielders. It seems like they were already won in their mindset. That lets them to feel free. The match is not finished until it is finished. That should be the mindset from SBCC fielders. Anything might change even right from here. Oh, close deliveries doesn't let Harish to go forward as well as to come behind. Interesting bowling approach here. That is letting them under pressure. Will be quite good under control with the way how things are being approached. Swings and got the connection better as that pierces between two fielders. Good stop over there, saving couple of runs for his side. Much impactful at this point of time. Not an easy one to stop for fielders, but with the way how he came in and saved the ball. Only single for that. Last ball of Adarsh. Will he get another one? 3 for 17 as of now. Single to end the over. That's 4 overs, 3 for 18 from Adarsh. Wonderful spell coming to an end. Overall 66 for 7 after 13 overs. .66 for 7. Through the covers as the fielders chasing down the ball. No chance of going back for the second run. Quite good under control as Harish is trying to play some positive cricket here. With Divakar continues out to bowl. Shankar will also be getting one more over to complete his spell. Wonderful shuffle of bowlers. Brought in Divakar at the right time to get in connection with the rest of the spinners, as he won't be bowling alone at one end. The thing is that the bowlers have started focusing outside the off stump rather than focusing onto the stump line. For the past couple of deliveries we've seen it's not invading the stumps. Whenever they try to invade the stumps, they pick up wickets in a regular interval of time. Another thickish outside edge. Couldn't get much connection over there. Swings and got the connection better, catches the call, but the fielder will be the spectator over there to watch that going for a maximum. That's why I said the match is not yet over until it is completely over. Balaji is trying to find some hope here for SBCC. Positioned himself well to go for that slog sweep. Usually bowlers will have good arms. Could be able to generate more power. Strong shouts. Turning down the leg, says the on-field umpire. Strong appeal from Divakar with one more to complete this over. Quicker deliveries again. Smart cricket all round. Single to end the over. That's 74 for 7. 14 overs completed. Shankar to complete his spell. 2 for 12. With last over to be bowled. Still a gettable one. Looks out to be a T20 chase. 51 and 6 overs. There is a possibility if these two batters continue the same flow. Is there any drama waiting? Let's find and watch. Shankar to bowl his last over. As the last couple of overs didn't gain much momentum to Starhawks, as their spinners couldn't fetch wickets to break this partnership. Lucky runs over there as the short third man chases down. Good stop. Will be a couple of runs on the board. Trying to play positive cricket all round. Trying to get some close fielders. Slips in position. In fact, short third man standing finer. To the wicket keeper. Will be interesting to watch out for. With the way how they strike, rotate the strike onside. Hard efforts at the end phase of this innings. Turning out to be interesting contest to watch out for. Goes over the bowler's head. 2 is the call. That eventually goes for boundary. Hammered with power, Harish. Pure hand power coming into play. Not an easy length to play on. That's almost an Yorker. Landing closer to the batter's feet. Doesn't let them to generate much power. Still he could be able to place it to the boundary ropes. It's pure power. Hand power comes into play. Putting the set bowlers under pressure. We've seen Adarsh finding it difficult against these batters. We've seen the previous over Divakar finding it difficult against these batters. Now it's Shankar who's conceding 7 runs in 3 balls. Seems like the game is changing. And this is the last over for him. Tossed up delivery, catches the call. But that will eventually go for 1 bounce boundary. Harish is carrying the hopes. SBCC final smile from them, as there have been some cheers from the dugout after a very long time. This time it's a full toss delivery. And that's been placed into the cow corner region. Look at the positioning. Good backing up from Harish. Came in at the lateral part of the innings and started carrying on the hope. As the fielders went in search of the ball. Look at his positioning. The way how he went under the ball shows he's a very good power hitter to watch out for. Now just 40 of 32 balls, which is gettable at this level of cricket. Two is the call as the long off chases down the ball. Misfield offers them the two comfortably. Sbcc are utilizing the opportunities at the right time. The last over of Shankar is turning out to be an expensive one, with 13 runs already with one more to go. Single to end the over. That's 88 for 7. 88 for 7 now. 37 of last 5 overs. Things are turning out to be quite good under control. Excellent view of this ground as these green grasses. The spectacular venue to watch the game. Changing to pace again as Venkata Prashant with the ball to bowl his third over. Tens of fast bowlers picking any wicket so far in this innings, but still they had something to impact in the power play. Now all they need is a wicket to stop these batters scoring runs, especially with this man on strike, Harish. Changes the perspective of this innings, bringing up some hope, both Harish and Balaji. Turning out to be just a single. Couple of singles over there. Spicing up things over there as Venkata Prashant trying to bowl onto the body line. Almost baller and could take them closer to the game. Let them decide on the final over on what needs to be done. Misfield unfortunately leads up to the boundary. Things are turning out to the favour of SBCC. The last couple of overs have been pretty excellent. With this breezy weather, everything is set for their favour to keep things under control. Be just a single over there. Eight runs coming off this over. 2 more to complete. 29 of 26 here. As that's high in the air, and no chance of that being a dismissal. Unexpected intense over there as Venkata Prashant trying to invade the stumps. As the hopes are going down, still there is a possibility if one wicket falls, everything will be in control for them. All they have to do is to break this partnership, especially with the wicket of Harish. That's easy picking for the batters. Will be just a single and 10 runs coming off this over, 98 for 7. Back into the attack, Divakar. The end that favoured them back to the same end. 4 wickets came in this end. Starting things off with the wide ball. These 2 overs are going to be crucial for Starhawks. If they have ever planned to come into the game stronger, it would be under the hands of the spinner Divakar. Maybe he could try to flight the ball as the batters might be trying to go for the big shot, so that the possibilities of that being a wicket will be very high. This is turning out to be crucial phase where economy must not be important. Though it's important, it's secondary priority where you have to focus on the wicket column, trying to tempt the batters to go for the big shot. Much better one. A little flighted delivery had the batter to go for something bigger. They might lose their sense sometimes if they watch such flighted deliveries coming closer. Straight away Harish is having some words. Emotional decisions won't work at this point of time, but you have to make the batters to take that emotional decision. That's why the psychology of this game lies in between. It's just 4 sixers away. That could be done at any point of time, but what matters the most is you have to try focusing on the wicket. You have 22 balls to be bowled to pick up just 3 wickets. 3 wickets needed. But as of now, I could see the approach of Divakar is clearly relying on economy. Dot balls won't help him. Even if he concedes just 2 to 3 runs, the next over might be going expensive. That's 100 PF for Sbcc. So you can't restrict the batters from scoring for a lot more time, but you can pick the wickets. Take that risk of picking up the wickets. Bowl a good length delivery onto the stump line. Let Harish go for the big shot. It is a do or die situation where you have to take do or die kind of risk. Another flat delivery that's been placed through the covers. Will surely be getting a couple of runs on the board. These are not going to help them up. All they need is just a single or two. When you bowl such a quick flat delivery, they will easily go for singles and 2 runs. They won't take any emotional decisions. They won't get carried on. 23 of 20 now. Swing and a miss. Couldn't get much connection over there. It's quite interesting to watch it with the way how he left that to go for wide. Quicker ones from Divakar, doesn't turn at all. 1 for 19 as of now, Divakar, with one more to complete this over. 22 of 19 now. It's just one shot away. They could control this innings. A dramatic T20 final for sure. That's high in the air. And no chance for Abhishek to stop that going for boundary. To end the over, that's 107 for 7. Now the equation looks out to be equal. 18 runs required of 18 balls to win the game. This was that shot. A slightly flighted delivery outside the off stump. That's more than enough for batters like Harish to swing the bat through the covers. 107 for 7. An entire spell that turned out to be something helpful for Starhawks, with the way how Adarsh have bowled along with Shankar Egambaram. Once those two bowlers have completed their spell, in fact their third over, things have started going out of the control. Though Venkata Prashant did well, though Divakar is doing well, though the Pacers are doing well, it is not helping them out to pick wickets. That's the problem. If that's not happening, things are not going to help them out. One final time from Venkata Prashant. 0 for 26, 3 overs. No wickets today. Short third man, backward point, extra covers. Typical T20 field positioning. Still in a defensive approach. 18 of 18. Just 3 shots away. And 3 wickets away for Starhawks. That's where the drama hides in between. Balaji, expecting that to be a wide ball, will be trying to put that single to bring back Harish on strike, who will surely be finishing things off quickly. Interesting contest to watch out for. Swings and got the connection better. That brings Harish back on strike. Will be interesting battle to watch out for. I'll still say 1 wicket will change. Look at the partnership, 50 of 35 balls. It was 58 for 7 at one point of time. Now it's 108 for 7. In just 6 overs, the context of the game completely changed. Especially with the way how Harish played the positive cricket along with Balaji. That can't be going for single. Starting things off with a dot ball. Doesn't want to go for that single, Harish. As he exactly knows, delaying things might be adding on a chance of losing wicket. Finishing things off quickly will be a good idea. 3 shots away. Trying to get some single over there. Fighting hard on his best, Venkata Prashant. Conceding just 2 runs of this over so far with 2 to complete. Still, it's a challenging sign from here. 16 of 14. If these 2 went on to be a dot ball, the 19th over will be more crucial to watch out for in terms of conceding runs. The wicket column won't be considered after the next over. It's all about going on with the dot ball. Strong shouts, and the fingers were going up as the bails have fallen. That's clean bowled. Finally a breakthrough is here as Venkata Prashant brought in the breakthrough. That's a good length delivery onto the stump line. Balaji tries to play it onto the back foot with a jump. It's a nothing shot from Balaji that leads up to his wicket falling down. 109 for 8. It is Venkata Prashant gets his first one. Will this change up the momentum to Starhawk? Let's wait and watch. With 1 to complete this over, Mohammad Yusuf, the new batter. Will 1 bring 2? Let's wait and watch now. All they need is Harish to come back to strike. If this went on to be a dot ball, things will be as smooth that Harish will be taking the strike back. That's what it happened. Dot ball to end the over. 109 for 8. Good last over from Venkata Prashant. Now last 2 over, 16 required with Harish on strike. With 1 over for Divakar and 1 over for Gauri Shankar. Now Divakar to bowl the last over of him. 1 for 23 in 3 overs. Just 3 shots away. Harish shouldn't delay the process. If he tries to take the game deep, things might go wrong at any point of time. Interesting field positioning. Sweeper cover, deep extra covers and long off in position. Expecting Harish would be trying to play through the covers and long on in deep mid wicket in position. Square and finer behind areas were being put fielders inside the circle. All the straight regions were put fielders at the boundary rope. That's high in the air and fell short of the fielder, unfortunately. Fielders were not walking in, that's the problem. Fielders were standing with attention and suddenly moving for a catch won't be possible. They should walk in while the bowler is bowling. That's where things were going wrong. You can't just come closer if you're standing as attention. Now that brings back strike to the new batter, which is what they've been expecting for. 5 balls to the new batter, Mohammad Yusuf. Flighted deliveries are still having impact, but Divakar prefers more a flat one. As that's high in the air, didn't got much elevation, fielders converging together, dropped opportunity. This was never expected at this time. Seems like Abhishek is the fielder. Came in perfectly under the ball, but was in a bit of hurry. He was still nervous. Was not relaxed while grabbing the catch. Look at that. Unfortunate that is. Gets off the mark Mohammad Yusuf with those 2 runs. Things are still going out of the control. 13 of 10 balls. Swing and a miss, couldn't get much control over there. Still, it's nail-biting contest to watch out for between Sbcc and Starhawks. Anybody could make it right from here. 50-50 opportunities. One shot that could change the context for Sbcc. No boundary will eventually take them to the winning margin. Swing and a miss again. Harish should be disappointed to see all these dramas happening at the strikers end. And he won't like to take the single, go for the single right now. Let Mohammad Yusuf play the next 2 balls. Harish can take over the complete last over. Yorker, straight away wide Yorker from Divakar. Back to back dot balls. Harish is appealing that as a wide ball. But this is really good to watch out for. One after the other started dominating the innings. Harish should not go for single, but he is going for that single, which leads to Mohammad Yusuf taking the strike for the last over. That's 113 for 8. Wonderful over from Divakar coming to an end. Now the last over is in action, will require almost 12 runs to finish things off. Mohammad Yusuf on strike. Now into the last over. Sbcc required 12 runs to finish things off to take up the trophy of Scarlet season number 4, whereas Starhawks have to defend the 12. Equally balanced battle, wonderful T20 contest. Almost a superb low target defense. Though the teams are known for their batting standards, SBCC have chased down targets of 160s and 170s, are now struggling hard. For the same opposition, they chase 168 in league phase. That's the speciality of big stages. That's the speciality of finals. All hopes on this man. He is with the ball. Will be facing sure shot nervous. He knows, though it's not the set batter, he'll be having that nervous. Mohammad Yusuf on strike. Catches the call and that's taken. Starting things off with a wicket. Now the biggest problem is Harish won't get the strike. That's wicket number 9. This is the replay. And this is how the wicket have fallen. Now that brought the last batter to come on strike. That's a speciality. Sonu will be on strike now. Now 5 balls, 12 runs required to win the game. Sonu on strike. In case if comes out to be a single, Harish will get the strike back. Then we could expect some dramas to happen. But as of now, required run rate 4.40, 12 of 5. On a simple note, it's just 2 shots away and 1 wicket away. Beautiful shot. As that gets a single, Sonu straight away gets off the mark with that single that brings strike back to Harish. Still some space for dramas to be left in this T20 contest. The big final. Feeding the viewers the right drama to be watched out for. $114 for 9. 11 of 4 balls. Swing and a miss. Couldn't get much connection. Adding up a lot of pressure. Trying to invade the stumps. Gauri Shankar will surely having the pressure. Shot third man in position. Backward point. Shot square leg. You miss, I hit kind of mindset from Gauri Shankar. 11 of 3. Still there is a possibility. 2 shots away and 1 wicket away. Disappointed Harish walking for that single. Not interested to go for the second run. Almost the hopes were gone. Still there is a mathematical possibility. 10 runs required of 2 balls with Sonu on strike. The way how he struck the first ball seems to be a positive intent. Seems out to be good batter to watch out for. That's the beauty of modern day cricket. All the 11 players will bat. Even the tail ender, the last batter will have something to say with the bat. Extra covers inside the circle. Wider third man in position. In fact, almost like a deep point. Sweeper covers in position. Long off in position. What will he bowl? Nailing Yorker. That closes the mathematical possibilities here. Excellent last over from Gauri Shankar. As the wicketkeeper started celebrating, smiles on everyone's face. Starhawks have almost made it with 1 ball left in the game. 9 runs required to win. Good fighting back. Just 124 when the first innings got completed. There were expectations that this game would end in 12 overs, 13 overs. But look at the fight. They took it to the last ball of this innings. Big shot. As that is a fielder. Couldn't stop that going for boundary, but that doesn't impact them. As Starhawks making things clinical performance from them, bringing up the dramas all together, finally clinching the trophy of Scarlet season number 4. Exceptional performance right from the beginning of this game. Lost the toss, being pushed on to bat first, just 124 at the board. Nobody had the hope, but right from the first ball, all these 11 cricketers had the hope, cheered themselves, encouraged the bowlers, bowled well in the power play, Gauri Shankar and Venkata Prasad. It all started when Shankar started picking up wickets along with Adarsh. 3 wickets for Adarsh, 2 wickets for Shankar. That spell have changed the game completely. They both picked up 5 wickets in 8 overs by just conceding 44 runs. That have changed the context of the game, along with Divakar 4 overs, 27 for 1, and Gauri Shankar in this last over changed the context of the game. In terms of batting for SBCC, bit of dramas over there. 19 runs from Vicky, 20 from Subbu, Balaji 18 and Harish 37 not out, but nobody could take the team to the winning margin. A dramatic T20 contest coming in favour of Starhawks, winning this game by a difference of just 4 runs. A clinical performance that gives them this trophy of Scarlet season number 4. And that's the story. Our final gestures were going on. Join us in the post-match presentation for the award ceremony. Thank you so much for joining.